Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how in the next 4 hours you can become profitable by making this simple yet effective change in your trading. This is a change which has completely transformed my trading, and since doing it, it made me realize that I was actually a lot more profitable than I initially thought. And the reality is that most of you watching this video probably are as well. But the one thing holding you back is going to be the thing that I'll cover in this video, okay? And that is going to be taking losses and thinking that the losses are the problem and trying to change the losses into wins. When in reality, what you should be doing is finding those losing days, not thinking that there's actually a problem with them at all, because realistically there isn't. And instead of trying to turn them into winning days, avoid them completely. Because if you can avoid your losing days and only focus on the days which are high probability and more likely to win, your profitability will increase, and that's guaranteed. Okay, that is literally a guaranteed fix that you can make in your trading, which I never see anyone ever speak about, okay? And that is simply find out how to avoid your losing days so that the winning days have a bigger impact on your win rate from the wins that you take. And I can guarantee that if you can do this one fix in your trading and start to fully understand why your losing days occur and learn how to avoid them, your trading will just massively improve. It's literally a no-brainer, okay? So many beginner traders, including myself when I was learning how to trade 2 years ago, back in university, right? When I was studying to become an accountant and I literally didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just know I didn't want to be an accountant, right? Back in that day when I was learning how to trade, I thought that I had to win every single trade. But what I have now realized is some days are not meant to be won. For example, I'm going to go on the charts in a second and explain to you why I didn't trade today. And although there was a setup, I personally know, based on my backtesting and based on my data, that taking this setup is more likely to lose than win. And I know I shouldn't take it, even though it won, okay? Which a lot of people aren't able to do because they think all they need to do in trading is win, 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 win. And when they miss a trade or when they lose a trade, they think that there must have been a win on that day. But the reality is, maybe there wasn't a win at all. And maybe the right move on the board was to simply come off the charts and do this. Boom, no trading, okay? Because that is sometimes the best thing to do. So that's what I'll cover in this video. And in the next 20-25 minutes, I'm going to explain to you how to, first of all, avoid those losses and how to focus more on the winning days so that you can actually become profitable. Let's go. And by the way, this channel is for people who actually want to see a massive improvement in their trading. If you're looking to just watch me have an amazing time in Thailand and travel around the world, then go and subscribe to my other channel. But this channel, and the reason I've actually recently made it, is purely so that I can educate people on how to actually become profitable, because so many people and so many YouTube channels are focused on the wrong stuff. They're focused on vlogs and they're focused on lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, I have a page just for that, right? Which is called Sal Sanchez, and you can check it out in the description. But I am purely making this so that I can only educate people and actually make people profitable, right? So this is the only benefit of following this YouTube channel. If you actually want to become profitable, subscribe, because every single video on here will get you one step closer to profitability. And I can assure you that, because there will be no vlogs, there will be no flashy lifestyle, there'll be no edited videos. It's just going to be raw videos every single time, okay? And if you watch every single video to the very end on this channel, I really do think you'll be profitable, okay? And this is why this video is coming out first in the channel, because it's one of the most important things. Avoiding losses, if you can get that from the beginning, you're going to be a very good trader, okay? So looking right here on the charts, we're going to focus on, first of all, the higher time frame, because the higher time frame is the reason behind everything. And if you don't currently use the higher time frame, you need to start using it, because this is the reason why I avoid so many losses that I'm able to do, right? It's just because the higher time frame isn't aligned with the lower time frame. And if that's the case, I simply won't take the trade. So if we have a look right here on GU, okay, we're just going to analyze the daily time frame and actually understand what's going on. Okay, as we can see, price has come down, it's grabbed liquidity from this low here, and then it continued going lower to tap into this demand zone here. And once it's tapped into this demand zone, after taking out enough liquidity from here, we've now seen a very nice reaction to the upside. And from this point, I would expect a retracement, which we have seen yesterday, okay, and now probably a continuation to the upside. However, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to retrace lower, for example, right now, or go higher straight away, which we definitely could do right from here, okay? And because of this uncertainty, this is a day that I simply would not trade, okay? Because I'm uncertain. Whereas if I go and show you a day where I was very certain, for example, last Thursday, you will see a clear difference in the reasoning based on the higher time frame for why I took the trade. And that's the main reason for my trading. It's all about having certainty. And the moment, and this is a really, really important tip here, the moment where you look on the charts and you don't think the trade's going to win, it's probably not going to win. And that's because you're forcing an entry when there is no position available. When you look on the charts, you want to be thinking, okay, this is possible. This is there. This is there. This confluence is there. This trade is very, very, very good. And if you don't think that when you're taking a trade, then the reality is you're probably forcing a trade on a day where there is no trade available, okay? And that is a massive mistake that traders make. They're there forcing positions when there is actually nothing to do. And the reality of what they should be doing is just coming off the charts and doing something else. Go to the gym, go and talk to your friends, go do something, right? But sometimes the best move on the board is to actually do nothing. And in my opinion, that is exactly what we are seeing right here. Because the market is in a very uncertain place where it could continue going lower from here. It could have a deeper retracement because if I draw out, for example, the Fibonacci, you will see here that we are currently in the 50% area. Okay, we've tapped into this area here, the golden zone, but we definitely could go lower, okay? And the reason why I think we could go lower is because if we go into the 4-hour time frame, you can see that yesterday there was some crazy selling pressure to start off the week. And typically what you tend to see after this much selling pressure is a continuation in that same direction to the downside as well. So if I'm looking for long positions, which overall I would like to do, it's unlikely that it's going to happen today because yesterday was so bearish. And that is why today is a low probability day. And that is why I wouldn't trade today. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully now you understand why I didn't trade today, even though if I go and show you the 15-minute time frame, there was actually a very nice setup to take, okay? However, sometimes in trading, it's not about taking every setup you see. It's actually about avoiding those setups because based on your journaling, based on your understanding of your data, that setup is likely to lose and therefore it's not worth taking it, okay? So the setup that I could have taken today, which I didn't, is going to be a sweep of the previous day low here, a tap into this fair value gap here, which is actually, I think, a daily fair value gap here, okay? And then a really nice reaction from that point. But I didn't take it because I'm uncertain on the higher time frame. And sometimes that is what trading is about. It's about understanding that the market isn't doing exactly what you want it to do. And sometimes it's better to say, you know what? I'm just going to leave this one and I'm going to let it play out. And if I miss it, I miss it. If I catch it, I catch it. Brilliant. Okay. It's just one of those ones where I was uncertain, so it's not worth taking the trade. Because based on my experience, sometimes, okay, and this is really likely to happen based on my data, when a day has been extremely bearish, for example, or bullish the day before, it's very likely that the next day will continue that same trend. So when I said to my community this morning on the live trading call, I said to them, guys, we have two different scenarios here, okay? Scenario one, and I'll actually go into, I'll go into the Discord actually, and I'll show you exactly what I said, just so that you guys can see my real thought process behind everything, okay? On the Discord right here, you can see that this is actually what I said is probably going to happen, right? I didn't say I'm going to take this, but I said there's two different scenarios, okay? This is scenario one, where we could go up, okay? Take out the liquidity resting above these highs right here, right? Which we have now done. And then we could react to the supply area, which is going to be this area right here, okay? However, once I saw that price did not come up into this area, okay, and do something like this to target the previous day low, and it actually took it out first before coming into the supply area, I then said to them, as you can see here, no trade day now, price went without us, because that is how trading goes. Sometimes it's going to move without you, and you need to be aware of this so that you can come off the charts and say, you know what, the setup hasn't come, okay? And even though I was looking for sales to target the liquidity below this low here on the previous day low, right? I'm not going to take it because that trade is now invalid. What I was looking for, and I'll replay price so that I can actually show you exactly what I wanted, was a retracement here, okay, into the supply zone, taking out this high here, which is inducement, and then waiting for a reaction to then target the previous day low liquidity down here. Okay, that's what I was wanting, right? That there is a very nice position because it continues on the volume from yesterday to the downside. And we've taken out liquidity from these highs here, tapped into a supply area, inducement of those highs, liquidity from the previous day low to target, right? And that's what I wanted. That's what I said to them. But once it does this, and it's now grabbed the liquidity here, there is now no point taking the trade because there's less liquidity to target to the downside, meaning the trade is less valid, okay? So I said to them, I'm not trading today, come off the charts. And that is what it's about. Sometimes it's about understanding your trade has gone and there's nothing to do now other than leave it and wait for the next day, okay? And like I was saying before about my overall bias being bullish, the other scenario for today would have been taking longs from the sweep of the previous day low. However, yet again, I didn't want to take this because yesterday was very, very bearish and there's a very good chance, okay, it hasn't happened, but there was a very good chance that price would have continued going to the downside and dumping lower, okay, you know, like this, okay? So there was uncertainty on both sides of the market today, which is why I didn't take the trade. Yes, there was a trade that presented itself. In fact, there was actually two. I could have taken a sell, realistically, from here after the Asia high was taken out and target the previous day low. And then I could have also targeted buys from here and targeted the London high, right? Like this. Yes, I could have done that, but based on my trading and based on my understanding of the market, is not a trade that I know is going to win, okay? So I didn't take it. And it's about doing this to become the best trader you possibly can be. It's not about winning every single day, but like I've said and like the title of the video says, it's about avoiding those losing days or those unpredictable days so that you can focus 100% of your energy on the days that are more likely to win based on your data. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a winning example of a trade that I took last Thursday, which is right over here. And I'm going to explain to you why this example is such a different example to the example today that I could have taken, okay? And this will help you understand, first of all, as I showed you right now, an example of an uncertain day that it's probably best not to take, and also an example of a very nice day where it is worth taking. Because a lot of you are probably thinking, right, well, if you're avoiding trading every day, what days do you trade? And we'll get onto that right now, okay? So this is the trade that I took. Let me actually play out price. And I've actually got a video already on this channel, which I would have posted 2 days ago because this will come out on Friday. And I did the breakdown on Wednesday. So check out that breakdown of this trade in more detail after this video. And you'll see why I took it. But the trade I took was basically a buy from this level, targeting the Asia high, super clean position. And the reason why I knew this trade was very likely to win is because it was all about the higher time frame, okay? As you can see, if I go on the hourly charts, hold on, not the hourly, we'll stay on the 15-minute, okay? 15-minute is fine for this position. You can see here, on Monday, this is Monday here, right? On Monday, we had this massive fair value gap here to fill, right? And because of that, and because my bias was longs, I didn't want to take any long positions until we filled this fair value gap down here. So what I did is I waited for this to get filled. I waited for Monday. I said, you know what, I'm not trading on Monday, even though we took out Asia high, and even though there was a sell position, I said I'm going to wait until that fair value gap is filled because sells don't make sense because I'm in a bullish market. So there's no point taking sells because yes, it could work to fill the fair value gap, but the higher time frame is bullish, so it's not worth me taking. So that's why I didn't trade Monday. Then on Tuesday, Tuesday I actually could have traded, right? And I think I did. No, did I trade Tuesday? No. No. I didn't trade Tuesday. I didn't trade Tuesday either, but Tuesday, to be honest, I could have traded. But the reason I didn't trade Tuesday is because, yes, we had filled the fair value gap, but we hadn't seen a reaction out of that fair value gap yet to the upside. So normally when I trade, right, this is the key to being successful, and this is what I personally look for, is I want to see a retracement, okay? So for example, if I'm looking for a bullish week, I want to see price go lower to start the week. Then I want to see volume coming in the day before I look to take the trade in the direction of the trade that I want to take, okay? So that's why I didn't trade Tuesday, because I was waiting to see buying pressure to the upside so that I know the day after is likely to continue in that same direction. So I didn't trade Tuesday because there was no confirmation that we were going to react to the fill of this fair value gap. So I didn't trade Tuesday. And as a result, you can see we basically consolidated all day in New York session. There was a position here that I could have taken, to be honest, but personally for me, I avoided it because it wasn't the most likely trade to win. So I waited for Wednesday, right? And as you can see on Wednesday, now we've seen clear buying volume coming in to the upside, changing character actually, I think on the hourly time frame as well, or maybe even the 4 hour, but you can see here, we broke past these highs here to the upside, changing character here, right? And that was my confirmation that the day after this one, so Thursday, the day I took the trade, was going to continue to the upside, right? Because we've now seen that confirmation here of the change of character. We've now filled the fair value gap and seen the reaction from it. We've still got liquidity to target from this high up here. And now it's just a simple continuation trade in the higher time frame after taking out the Asia low to the upside, right? And this is a very, very nice position to take. And these are the trades that I wait for. So I already knew my bias was buys. We already had the confirmation because of the change of character from the hourly time frame here. And now I just had to find an entry. And this is now the easiest part, right? So many people overcomplicate this, and I'm actually gonna have multiple videos coming out very soon on how to actually get the perfect entry, okay? Because that is something that, actually no, the opposite. I'm gonna have videos coming out on how to not focus on the perfect entry, because the perfect entry is not needed. Whenever I enter a trade, I don't really focus on where I'm entering the trade from. I focus on the higher time frame and the reasoning behind the trade, which allows me to get the direction right, which means I could enter up here, I could enter down here, I could enter maybe here with my stop loss below the low. But it doesn't really matter because I know the trade is very likely to win based on the higher time frame. So there'll be videos coming out on this channel very, very soon about how to actually take trades without focusing so much on the entry. But yeah, for now, this is the trade that I took. Entry was somewhere down here after sweeping out this low here, okay? And then my target was Asia high because Asia high liquidity was still resting above there. And that was the trade, okay? So that is the difference from a trading day like this one to a non-trading day like today, where there's uncertainty and price could, to be honest, do anything. It could go bullish, it could go bearish. Now, hopefully that has explained to you the importance of not trading, focusing on the higher time frame, and understanding which days based on your data are more likely to win so that you know what days you're best to take. And I know this has been a very detailed video. I know I speak very quickly. I know there's a lot of information to take in, okay? But hopefully you've learned something from this. And if you have, make sure to subscribe. And also what I would recommend as well is, if you are really wanting to take your trading seriously, watch every single video that I put out on this channel, because I'm going to be posting maybe 3 videos a week, just like this, raw trading education, giving you guys so much value, it's actually ridiculous. And if you're actually serious about trading, you should watch every single video, make notes, rewatch the video, make some more notes, and then you're actually going to see success. And if you don't do that, then I'll be honest, you're not going to be successful, okay? Because if you can't watch a 20-minute video and make some notes, you're not going to make it. Simple as that, okay? I am currently in my office back in London doing like 10-hour days working on my other businesses because that is what it takes to be successful. And the same thing went for when I was learning how to trade. When I was learning how to trade, I spent hours and hours every single day working on trading because I knew spending more time learning how to trade would make me more profitable. And as a result, it helped me out. I learned from my mistakes because I journaled, because I backtested, because I actually spent the time and I spent the hours to develop my trading. And that is what it takes to become profitable. So that is what you need to do as well. Okay, so many people think that, you can just become profitable overnight by watching this video and that's meant to change your trading forever. Sure, this is gonna make you a much better trader, but there's a lot more that goes into it, and that's why I'm gonna be posting multiple videos every single week teaching how to do this. So make sure to subscribe. And if you like the video, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Bosh!